We'll start with Miriam Swanson with the LA Daily News.
Hey again, Derek. Question for you about all the virtual training camps you guys had, or virtual training camp sessions, and how helpful that feels now that you guys are all together.
I think we, tried our best initially, when, the COVID-19 kind of pandemic really came to a halt in mid-March, and there was a lot of uncertainty about, whether training camp would start and the WNBA draft, et cetera. So, we wanted to start training camp, even though we weren't physically together. We felt like it would help us build some connections and some bonds as a team without being in the same space. We felt and feel good about the process of like getting to know each other before we could be together here in Florida. Initially, it was about our culture and what we're trying to build here as a team and as an organization. We introduced some basic basketball principles, but we still just didn't know how long that would need to take place. And then obviously with the conversation changing to race in America and around the country and around the world, we also modeled that in the conversations that we had when we got together for our meetings, and really took it from talking about basketball and strategy and planning to how are our players feeling and what's on your mind and what's important to you about this conversation. And we felt like those were meaningful discussions to have also.
We'll go to Brendan Clean with Forbes.
Oh, my hand was actually still up from Chelsea. I put it down. I apologize.
Okay, all good, Brendan. Brady Klopfer, SB Nation.
Hey, Coach. I'm just wondering where you feel the team is at this time relative to where they were this time last season, or not this time in the month, but a week or two before the season started last year versus now that you've gone through that season. You've gone through some virtual camps and things like that, added some new players, but especially for the players who were on the team last year, who have had a year in the system, how do you feel the team is now?
I think it's a great question. I'm thinking of it in a couple ways. One, I think physically for sure, everybody's, behind where they normally would be at this point in the training camp. Some of our players would have been still overseas coming in late. Any rookies or anyone that we had, drafted or invited to training camp would have just finished their college season. They would have come in, in pretty good condition. So from a physical standpoint, I think we're a little bit behind or not where everybody's accustomed to being. But on the flip side of that, I think from a relationship standpoint, the bonds and the connections that we have with each other, the returning players, our coaches, our staff, having that additional time to work together, taking advantage of those months when we were not, physically in the same spaces, but virtual meetings from the business side, from the PR side, from the community relations side. Like our entire organization is just closer and in a better place than we were a year ago. And so I think that will translate on the court once we can catch up to ourselves physically, and put those two things together. We feel like we have a chance to be really good.
Doug Feinberg, Associated Press.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious how much you have to adjust your coaching philosophy style with people not really being in the shape they usually are at, coming in training camps, they didn't play overseas. I've heard some other coaches say they're going to try to maybe get some scrimmages against other teams during practice time because there's no practice players, male practice players, to save wear and tear. Just how you plan to adjust a little bit to what you wanted to do before this whole COVID hit versus like what you're actually able to do.
Yeah, no, definitely every day almost it will be an adjustment as, we learn and the players themselves learning where they are mentally and physically. We can't, I think, underestimate or overstate the mental drain that we've all experienced over the last few months or more around the world, specifically in America, in terms of the extended conversations we're now, having around race. And so just mentally making sure that everybody can start to bring themselves fully present here, and then the body then can start to catch up, with the mind. So definitely adjusting, and really trying to meet our players where they are. And honestly, for us and the veteran players we have, the returning players, and even Simone as a new player, as a veteran, like we're better off in a game on opening weekend with all of the players out there and not in great shape than we are without them at all, because we're trying to prove a point to hurry up and get in shape. So we're just trying to adjust our approach from that standpoint and just allow them to symbol to us. We'll see in the way they're moving, their timing, their shooting will improve over the next couple of weeks, and then we can start to ramp things up. But we can't approach this thing as though we have to win the championship by July the 25th. It's about October, and we need to try and move that way. So we'll be adjusting probably every day, and right from the start, it's been a little different. Oh, you're on mute.
Hey, hey, Coach.
Go.
There we go.
Hey, Coach. Nice to see you again, Coach.
You as well, Cameron. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Hey, Coach, I'd like to ask you a question, man. In regards to this George Floyd murder, why do you think that captured the world like it did? And unlike the deaths of Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Breonna Taylor, why do you think that George Floyd was the one that twisted America up how it has?
I mean, I don't know if I'd be coaching if I had answers for America, but I do honestly believe the timing of, I think the experiences with this virus and how it has, I think, created a level of shared experience for everybody, right? Like with COVID, it doesn't matter what your bank account looks like, what your job situation is, what your family dynamics are. Like the virus is non-discriminate. Like it'll go anywhere and it'll find anybody that is not, expecting it or able to fight it off. And I think that brought us all to a common place that we honestly very rarely experience in this country. And so I think then when you put what took place with George Floyd and the timing of it and the fact that we were all at home already suffering, I think, mentally and emotionally from isolation and quarantine and not having that social interaction as a community, it intensified what would have been a normal experience for all of us. And I think young people deserve a lot of credit for, while we're all having these conversations during a basketball media discussion, that is still important to have, because the young people in this country are not going to let us, continue to pass down a broken system, a broken country, a broken way of looking at things. And I think for us as a team and as an organization, we have to find a way to meet that while trying to play great basketball. We have to be a part of this movement in this conversation in our own ways and in our authentic ways. We can still respect the league and respect being a part of this association, but then we still have to find a way to stand strong in who we are and be a part of what America is going through and not separate ourselves just because we're kind of quote unquote in this bubble.
Thank you. We have time for two more, just two more today. We'll go over to Howard Megdal with Next Hoops.
Hey, Derek, how are you?
Good, Howard. How are you?
I'm good. Good to chat with you. I wanted to chat about specifically question of minutes played and load management. You guys kept everyone other than Chelsea below 28 last year. I know we've talked about it, and part of that is by design, especially with a veteran team. I'm wondering on two fronts. One, whether you're looking for something similar this year as you approach things, and two, whether the specifically odd nature, unique nature of this year means that load management might be even a bigger part of your protocols as you head into the season?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, if we can keep, you know, the number of bodies available and healthy that allow us to manage minutes played per game and manage the type of workload that our team is experiencing, that is for sure a part of the plan. And the biggest part of it, I believe, is getting Chelsea's minutes per game down so that she can be more efficient, more of a leader, do even more. And that was something that we just, you know, we couldn't sustain last year with the injuries and everything that we experienced with bodies in and out. You know, we just didn't have the opportunity to get Chelsea off the floor a little bit more at times that I think would have given her an opportunity to be fresher and stronger during our postseason push. But how it will manage out in terms of the exact minutes, we'll see. But we put this roster together with that in mind, that we have a veteran group. We do not expect people to have to play 34, 36, 37 minutes a game for us to have a chance to win most nights. And we feel like the new players that we've added to our returning players really give us a chance to do that, where we have some depth in the front court as well as in the back court. And we want to take advantage of that while we're here. You know, we have 11 players here right now. Marie Gulic will be here today. And, you know, we want to keep 12 players healthy as long as possible and use that to our advantage. I think Eli's on mute, but I'm not sure if the other people can hear. There we go.
John W. Davis with Winsider, last question for today.
Okay.
John,
Hey, Coach
you there?
Fisher, how's it going?
Good, John. How you doing today?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Doing well. I just kind of want to piggyback off of Howard, what he was saying. You know, as I look at this, everybody's talking about working into basketball shape. You're talking about playing people less minutes, but specifically, is this an opportunity in the beginning of the season when everybody's there and if everybody's healthy for at least, you know, the first couple weeks that, like, in pretty much every game, everybody plays at some point just because, I mean, everybody's in this together.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's going to be a safer way to do it, honestly. When you consider what these players have experienced and how limited they've been in preparing themselves for a season under more normal circumstances, I just don't think it would be fair to them to try and start the season, you know, with a 7-player rotation as though the season is on the line in that first day. I think we all have a responsibility, and I can just speak for our team and our organization. We have a responsibility to our players to do right by them. And so if we have 12 players available opening weekend, I wouldn't be surprised if all 12 played, because even if it's just 3 or 4 minutes in spurts to try and just give everyone a chance to learn how to play basketball in a game setting again, it's an important thing to do. Will that sacrifice a little bit of rhythm and timing and substitution patterns and what may be more normal for us in August and September? Yeah, but if Candace is still available to us in August and September, by playing 12 people in July, I'm willing to take that risk because we're going to be a better team with Candace Parker on the court in September, with Chelsea Gray, with Simone Augustus, with Nneka, with Riquna. You know, we didn't get a chance to really see what our team at full strength looked like a lot last year due to injuries and Riquana's suspension. And so we want to see what that looks like this year, even in these circumstances. And so, yeah, I'll probably try and play as many people as possible every single night the first couple weeks, try and be smart with timeout usage. And, you know, we'll have to kind of learn how all of that works in terms of the TV situation. And we're going to have to learn the game setup at the arena, you know, in terms of coaches and players and still having some distancing and things that we need to work through. So it'll all be new, but my hope is that we can get as many sparks on the court as possible so we can stay healthy.
Thank you so much, Derek. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys. Appreciate it.